Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to 𝗦𝗵𝗲 show. We love having you. We'll love to be with you every morning. And today, this week, we've been talking about money mindset. We've been talking about the success around money. Do you feel joyous? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel exhilarated when you think about money? What are your thoughts around money? And let me share with you, there comes a time when we think about money, not often. And I know when I look back, how I used to think about money, the limiting beliefs that we had around money. Right, Ria? We've all had limiting beliefs, but then how do we overcome that? And so this week we are going to be sharing with you, because money is it's essential to know. It's essential to know, how do you spend, invest, keep money? Because we can get money, as we talked about, we shared last week. You could win the lotto, but that money could disappear. So how do we retain and maintain money? So without further ado, Ria is going to be sharing with you today from Robert Kiyosaki's book, Financial IQ. So welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Alka.
And I'm Ria, and welcome
to
our show. So Alka, thank you. I'm sorry.
So Ria, I'm going to pass the mic on to you.
Thank you, Alka. I'm so excited, because today's money is too much money or not enough money, and how to tell the difference. So I'm going to read just a few paragraphs from the book of Increasing Our Financial IQ by Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And so I'll read first, not enough money. Why I want to read? Because I don't want to miss the important salient points in the book. So that's why I want to share it. And we're going to go over what the book has entailed for us. So not enough money. My poor dad had money problems all his life. No matter how much money he made, his problem was not enough money. His inability to solve that problem caused him great pain throughout his life. Tragically, he felt inadequate both professionally and as a father. Being from the world of academics, he did his best to push his financial problems aside and dictate his life to a higher cost than money. He did his best to assert that money did not matter, even when it did. He was a great man, a great husband and a father, and a brilliant educator. Yet it was this thing called money, that often called the shots, silently hounded him, and sadly, towards the end, was the measure he used to evaluate his life. As smart as he was, he never solved his money problems. So that's not having enough money. So Alka, if you've read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's dad is very brilliant. He's a PhD.
Wow.
Yes, he graduated college and earned, several degrees after college. He's a PhD. He's an educator. Now, he's very knowledgeable with the clinical information, right? With the school knowledge.
Yeah.
But that did not translate to financial knowledge. Because why? Robert Kiyosaki in his book says that they were having money problems. They could not afford things. They didn't have any businesses, just like his rich dad was. So
yeah, I was just gonna
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna mention that point. We were talking about that yesterday, specialized knowledge. That any amount of knowledge, it doesn't come down to the abundance of general or specialized knowledge that we have. It comes down to the the financial aspect of your mindset. How does that control you? So you could be a scholar and be broke, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of scholars or PhD or MD, PhD or MD that are also living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because that's what we were taught. We were not, I was not raised having, you know, the financial knowledge that I have right now. I have to learn it the hard way. I have to do my real homework at home. So going back to the book, now we're headed to Too Much Money. Now this is the business dad of Robert Kiyosaki. This is not really his rich dad. I mean, this is not his real dad. This is the business dad, the rich dad that he has, but he's not blood related. Okay. So Too Much Money. My rich dad, who began to teach me about money at the age of 9. Can you imagine? 9 years old. Wow. He's about the same age as my 2 kids. Also had money problems. So the rich dad also had money problems. He solved his money problems differently than his poor dad. He acknowledged that money did matter. Money did matter. And because he realized that, he strove to increase his financial intelligence. And so financial intelligence at every chance. And to him, that meant tackling his money problem head on and learning from the process. My rich dad was not nearly as academically smart as my poor dad, but because he solved his money problems differently and increased his financial intelligence, my rich dad's money problem was too much money. Too much money. I think rich dad Robert Kiyosaki said his rich dad actually did not finish college, yet his wealthy in terms of financial aspects of life. Now, in the book, he says, having 2 dads, one rich and one poor, I learned that rich or poor, we all have money problems. And that's very true. It's all relative, right? The poor have money problems and the wealthy have money problems too. Now, the money problems of the poor are not having enough money, using credit to supplement money shortages, the rising cost of living, paying more in taxes the more they make, the fear of emergencies, bad financial advice, not enough retirement money. They're scared to retire. The money problems of the rich, however, are having too much money, needing to keep it safe and invested, not knowing whether people like them or do they like their money, needing smarter financial advisors, raising spoiled kids, estate and inheritance planning, excessive government taxes. So you see, Alka, whether you're rich or whether you're poor, we all have the same money problem, but it's different kind of money problem.
Exactly. It's a different kind of money problem. And Ria, just hearing what you were just saying, you know, brought to mind when you said, you know, his rich dad just barely, you know, had the education, right? I think it was 2 months, 3 months. Well, you know, it just brought mind to Bob Proctor and people, you know, other people that we know of. Bob Proctor only had that 3 months of schooling and he then dropped out. But with people like Bob Proctor and other mentors, other people that we know in the industry, it comes down to the paradigm. How are you changing? How are you shifting your paradigm? Because, you know, you could be a dropout of school. Richard Branson is another example. Very successful man that we know. You know, he was a dropout, high school dropout, but he has gone on to make billions. And so it comes down to your paradigms. How do you shift your paradigms and shifting your mindset, your thought process of achieving, of desiring what you want? So Ria, I love that. Because, you know, you could be a high school dropout and be successful.
Yes, to go back to your example of Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, if you're familiar of Tony Robbins, you know, he's the tall guy. He's a motivator guy. He's very wealthy. And I went to one of his events and he talked about his humble beginnings. He was actually very poor, from a very poor family. His father had drinking problems and they were, you know, his parents were separated. And growing up, he had money problems and he has self-confidence problem until he met Jim Rohn, or one of the motivators. I'm not sure if it's Jim Rohn, but
I think it's Jim Rohn. Yes,
he met one of the motivators, right, speakers, and he said, I want to be like them. So you see, you do not have to be finishing college to get a degree. You just need to find the right mentor, reverse engineer what your mentor is doing, learn what you can from that mentor, either through reading books or personally exposed in their environment, either shadowing with them while they're doing their own business. You try to follow them and then be part of the group. And then you slowly transform yourself to become who they are. And that brings Tony Robbins. He's a very powerful motivator. And all he did was follow the footsteps of his mentor.
Definitely. I think, you know, you have to follow the examples. And you know what? And I love the idea of shadowing, because shadowing a successful person who we admire, who we want to, you know, reach to those heights. So they are leaving clues, as Ria and I have mentioned last week. Success leaves clues, and they are leaving those clues along the way. And it's up to us to, you know, get hold of that. So, you know, shadowing, like, you know, someone like Tony Robbins, if you are fortunate enough to, you know, follow him, then be in his program, do what it takes, do whatever it takes to get you to be out of the situation that you might be in right now, you know, with your money problems. You do not want to be in that situation. And I know what that feels like. And so, you know, find a mentor, as Ria and I have shared, find a mentor who is in alignment with you, to where you want to go, where you aspire to be, and your mentor can quickly fast track your progress. Right, Ria? So I think that is so good. I love mentorship. I think it's brilliant.
I love reading books too.
Yeah. And books is, yeah, well, books is power. Yeah, you know, books will give you the knowledge, but, you know, knowledge alone is not going to get you the abundance, will not get you to be where you want to be, but the implementation of that knowledge, that is the key point.
That is correct. But if they continue to stay tuned to our show, we're going to be bringing them lots of books and lot of knowledge, and it's up to them to soak in the knowledge, to read more about the knowledge, and then implement it to their life and business. So until next time, my friends, we're going to see you tomorrow on our next show, Alka and Ria Show.
Exactly. I love that. You know what? There are so many, you know, great insights that we will be sharing with you. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This week, last week, we've been talking about, you know, money. And I think money is the most important component when it comes to life, because without money, without the financial education that Ria and I shared last week, you know, having the basis of how do you spend money. Money comes to you, whether it's in a lottery form or any other way, money comes to you and it easily disappears. Well, that means there's something you are not doing right. And Ria and I want to make sure that the knowledge that we share with you, you take that on board and then you go and implement that, because it's in the implementation that you will begin to grow and have the confidence. So thank you so much. We have come to the end of the show. It's always amazing, and we love being here with you and sharing our knowledge from our personal books that we have you know, shared with you. It's been a month already. But, you know, from our books, or whether the books that we are teaching with you now from Ria's Robert Kiyosaki Financial IQ, my book, Think and Grow Rich, that has, you know, helped millions of people around the world. Napoleon